All right, y'all see the banner. Yes, the picture's dated, but that doesn't mean that these four women didn't make a huge impact in NXT and started what we now call the women's evolution, right? Hey, hey, hello, welcome to the show. So, what we talking about? The quote is propaganda used to make women feel good. Now, I usually don't listen to podcasts, I try not to, but sometimes the content just slaps me in the face. And I'm listening to this fella go on and on and on about how women just simply ruined wrestling because of various reasons, all of which were a bunch of bullshit. So I just want to talk about this really quickly because it's extremely problematic to think that women in wrestling who get pushes or who are put on pay-per-views or who are put in a prominent position in the company are simply there used as propaganda. Now, before it was affirmative action. Now, affirmative action is gone. Now it's the DIE hire. This is what they slap on women because diversity and inclusion is so scary. Right? It diminishes what women have done in the wrestling business to get where they are. It diminishes what the ladies have done to scratch and survive and get to the position that they are. It diminishes the accolades that the ladies have accumulated to get where they are. These women put their bodies on the line, sometimes more than the men. Sometimes the women outshine the men in pay-per-views. The last 3-4 years of ladder matches, Survivor Series, you name it, the women have made it a point to show up and show out and show you all that they're not there to just show pussy, tits, and ass, which is a whole nother conversation because unfortunately this guy brought up another topic that I have to talk about. There's an issue when we talk about the Attitude Era. I was alive. Alright, I'm 43. I was alive when the Attitude Era was pumping. I was in my teens. The Attitude Era lasted all about three years tops. We'll even say 4 years, just for continuity. Everything you could think of was thrown at the wall during the Attitude Era. The women were literally used as red meat. Nothing more. During the Ruthless Aggression Era, you got more of the Bellas and stuff like that. They were doing more type of wrestling that we know now. But back in the Attitude Era, Jazz, Jacqueline, Chyna, Jazz specifically was ahead of her time. She was ahead of her time. If Jazz came around the four horsewomen that we know, Jazz would have excelled. Okay? Either way, Trish Stratus is always lauded as this pioneer. And I'm not diminishing anything Trish Stratus has done, but I'm going to be honest. Watching Trish Stratus on Monday Night Raw was a lot. Sometimes I laughed at the shit because it was goofy and it was stupid. But them mud matches, them bra and panties matches, her titties is always pushed up to her chin. She's put in the compromising positions. She's talking like a little girl. Oh my God, Vince, you're not going to be mad at me, are you? Oh no. That's what was basically the women were relegated to. There's this thing that I always bring up called the Lolita. It's the Lolita aesthetic. Really quickly, this came from a book that was written by a German dude. The story goes, there was a neighbor who was married. The girl next door was about 13 years old. She had ponytails and, little short skirts, whatever the case may be. This neighbor was so enthralled by this little girl that he pictured his wife in ponytails and sucking lollipops and stuff like that. And this is the image that has permeated throughout our subconscious from the media, from this book, because the book was turned into a movie called Lolita, okay? Couple times, I think. So when you see wrestling, you might say, well, it's not that serious. But subliminal messages are real. That's why I talk about masculinity in wrestling and how we have watched the way men handle women for years, to where a lot of you males can't let go of that image. And when you see something that you're not used to, the cognitive dissonance takes hold. Women did not ruin wrestling. Women actually made wrestling better. They actually expanded the consumer. The whole point of me making a podcast was because women's wrestling. I like watching women wrestling. I'm a woman. I want to see them thrive. I want to see something different. Wrestling in color. I like looking at women who look like me. Black women, Latino women, whatever. That is the in color part, the ethnicity, the diversity. Okay? And for people to sit here and say, well, the women ruin the wrestling because they just DEI highs, it's awful. I don't want to see women sucking lollipops and swinging in swings. Alexa Bliss is a grown woman. Alexa Bliss is like 31, 32 years old. She had a full kid. She is a married woman. For her to come back, whenever she does come back, if she comes back with the ponytails and all that bullshit, I'm going to have to question that. You have to adjust for where you're at. I understand you have to suspend your reality to enjoy wrestling because it's not real, right? It's scripted, it's a dance, it's choreography, it's a traveling circus. But at the end of the day, it has to have some type of realism to it, and a lot of times it does, because they bring their business to the forefront, street trash and people like you and all that old shit. Alexa Bliss can't come back swinging and calling people fat and ugly and these little bullshit ass lines that they give these women. These are grown women. They should be having real or close to real situations and reasons why they're mad, which is what I would like. But then again, you got Drew McIntyre and CM Punk arguing over a bracelet. But then it's not just that it's a bracelet, it's his bracelet, right? And we have to understand that. So if two women are arguing over their friendship, it might sound stupid, and it doesn't have to sound stupid, but you could put layers to it, which I think they did a good job with Bayley and Sasha. But because Bayley, Sasha, I cannot remember the man, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair did what they did in the fashion that they did it. They put their clothes on, they went out there, they got dirty, they got funky, their hair was messed up, Sasha wig got pulled back, and they revolutionized wrestling in NXT. That is what they're credited for. And then they reach back and they give the ladies who had to deal with what they dealt with so they don't have to deal with it. They give them their flowers too. The Bellas, what's her name? AJ Lee, Alicia Fox, Melina, Kelly, Naomi was there too. All them girls went through that bullshit so you don't have to. Sable, Medusa, Chyna, Jacqueline, Terry Runnels. Who else am I missing? Old girl. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever. All them girls did it so the new generation don't have to do it again. There is no way in hell you got them girls coming up from NXT that's going to be willing to get in mud matches, bra and panties matches. They don't have to degrade themselves like that no more to get over. And I think this day and age, at the point we're in, fellas, y'all going to have to really open your minds and understand that women can do it too. The days of, they got to be in the kitchen, all that. Becky Lynch stepped away from wrestling to take care of home. Are y'all going to applaud her for that? And when she gets her baby where she thinks the baby is going to be okay, she'll come back to wrestling. Seth Rollins didn't step away to go take care of the baby. He stepped away because he fucked up. Okay? All these men have children. They don't want to live life like the old dudes. These women have to make choices. Sasha Banks don't got kids, and she got a divorce. Now she's free to float all over the place and do what she wants. And you all have mentioned that she's a whore, that she's acting funny because she left her husband. She ain't behaving the proper way. I just think that she's doing that. I know she got her own pot line, and I think she might be high a lot of the times. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's married. At some point, Andrade gonna want some kids. He Latino. Them Latino men want kids. She got to make some decisions. Bailey, I don't know her situation, but I say all this to say this and not to be long winded. No, women did not ruin wrestling. Women broadened the spectrum. Women brought something different to wrestling. Women have stood there and said, you're going to respect us. We are also wanting to be a part of this. We are citizens of this country and we want to contribute too. We want to contribute. We don't want to fight y'all. We don't want to take something from you. We just want to contribute. And y'all should be all right with that. And stop making this type of content. It's disrespectful and it's weird. It's not welcoming. Wrestling is for everybody. Now, if you want that bullshit where the sickos go over there and watch what's her name? A Saraya match. And her ass is about to come over here too. Saraya. Another one who revolutionized the way women are looked at. Her pasty pale ass, them girls loved her. You know why? Because they are pasty and pale and they said we can do it too. Hence the reason why Rhea Ripley is elevated. Not because she's she's a decent wrestler. She knows how to sell her ass off. She's just now getting better on the mic. But Rhea Ripley brings a different type of sex appeal. And a lot of you males are uncomfortable with that. Because that androgyny, she turns on the men and the women. Y'all bought, she had an auction. She licked the paper and somebody paid like $500 for it. This is the new ladies. Everybody's not gonna be walking out there rolling their hips and shit, built like the letter P, and call that sexy. That's not sexy no more. And before I go, I'm not diminishing what Sable bought, but I honestly think Sable has left a very interesting taste in a lot of the men's mouths. Y'all need to step away from the Sable sexy and step into the new sexy. That's it. Tell me what y'all think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.